time for your weekly dose of pop culture.
With Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
On mute. Oh my gosh, that's just wrong. I'm just rambling on and on,
There you
and
go.
the
There
thing
you go. You
says
had me on
mute.
mute and everything, man. I couldn't.
Well, I was on mute. I could hear myself, and I'm just like, "Oh,
Yeah, I
yay,
couldn't
hey,
hear.
we're here. Ooh, ah. It's birthday show. It's birthday show."
Woo!
And basically, the audience is hearing none of it. It's just
Nothing was.
like
Yeah,
we could just be
we're
cursing the whole
all
time.
on
Like,
mute.
what the? Yeah. Anyway, I'm in that kind of a silly mood or silly space. What's up, my brother?
That's not. That's not. Look, being silly is not a bad place to be because I live in silly.
Oh, I hear you.
I'm
Yeah,
silly all the
definitely, I
time.
hear you. I am so silly. Hey, it is Saturday night. It is Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture. We come together every Saturday night and kick it for about 45 to 50 minutes, talking all things just pop culture and all different kind of topics. And usually we kind of dive into some kind of subject, whether it is one season wonders like last week, or this week, we're going to be talking about some of my pop culture favorites. So there we have it.
Jay Archer. It's not my birthday. It's Kathy's birthday.
Yeah, my birthday was
And Learn
yesterday.
Affiliate
So
has on there.
September
Happy birthday,
baby.
Kenny. My birthday's
It's
not till
kind
November.
of,
It's Kathy's birthday.
yeah. It's well, you know what the sign did say. The pre-show music said "Happy Birthday, Kenny" because that's what I played because I was just being lazy and I didn't do a new one for today. So that's
Oh,
why we
yeah.
are
It's not
where
my
we are.
birthday yet. It's Kathy's birthday.
So it's not your birthday yet. Your birthday's a little
Yeah.
later
Um.
in November, and we'll talk about some of your favorite things. But since it's my birthday, we get to talk about my favorite things. You know what? Since it is my birthday, I'm going to copy the link for the stream, and that way, if anybody wants to pop in and tell us some of your favorite things for your birthday. Because I have to tell you, I used to love to be able to take that day and kind of indulge in some of my favorites, whether it meant listening to Michael Jackson all day or Tina Marie, just having some fun with my favorite things, my favorite pop culture things. And
These are
I know.
my favorite things. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, and I know it's funny because one of my birthdays one year, and it was one of the first years that my favorite movie was available on um, DVD and not DVD, VHS, and
Sparkle,
that's how far we're going back. We're going back to the late '80s,
sparkle of
early
fame,
'90s. It was Fame, and about three
sparkle of
different
fame.
people got Fame, and three different people got me that same movie, which is kind of cool. And now I don't even
Wow.
think I have a copy of it. Uh,
Did I get you that?
I don't think so. I know, I think, Donna got me a copy, my friend Un got me a copy. So yeah, I had copies from a lot of different places, but yeah,
All right. Well,
it
before
is
we
what it
get on to your birthday, Ness, before we
Okay.
get on to your birthday, Ness, we usually do some pop culture news. And for
Alright.
pop culture news today, for pop culture news day, after 20 years, NSYNC has a new song.
Oh, yes, yes. There was a picture tweeted the night of the VMAs of, NSYNC in the elevator, and they were back
Yes,
together after what yeah, it was like forever that they
yes,
had been separated, and they were actually coming out with a new song that's gonna
yes.
be in the new Trolls movie, I believe.
Yes, the song is called "Better Place," and it's going to be it's in the trailer for the new Troll movie, Trolls Band Together.
Ah, okay.
So NSYNC back together and kicking it NSYNC style. What's an
Nice,
NSYNC song?
nice.
Is
Mm.
Justin Timberlake in NSYNC or was he in?
No, Justin Timberlake was in sync. He was not Backstreet Boys. Now, there was a song, I think it was
Yeah,
the
Justin
Backstreet
Timberlake is in
Boys.
NSYNC.
Justin Timberlake is in NSYNC. Yes, he's the lead
Okay,
singer,
so Justin
or
Timberlake
one
is
of the
back
lead.
with his other guys in
Mhm.
NSYNC.
Yeah, so that should be Lance Bass, Joey Fatone. It's like, okay, I'm showing my like boy
Yes,
band,
yes.
my
Joey
boy band love.
Patone, who has also become an actor in recent years, and as well as Lance Bass. Lance Bass has showed up on some of the Disney shows. Joey Patone is in My Big Fat Greek Wedding and My Big Fat Greek Wedding too, and he's done some other things on Disney and whatnot. So the other guys have been keeping busy besides Justin Timberlake. In
JC,
other pop
Chris
culture news,
Patrick. But
yes,
NSYNC is coming back. Well, I don't know whether they're gonna
yeah,
be coming back, so there's not gonna be a tour,
yeah, they got
but
the one
they're definitely
song.
gonna be doing, a song
They
for
might
the
be, they
movie
might do, they
Trolls.
might do a concert.
But you know what? When there's money on the
Yes, if
table, I don't
NSYNC
think,
comes back with a concert and a full album, huh?
yeah, if there's money to be
You don't think
made,
what?
I don't think they're gonna leave money on the table, so,
Yeah, true
they
that,
might be
true that,
back.
true that. They might be, if people like get a warm, people really get onto this in sync and the song "A Better Place" starts playing all over the place, and there's money to be made, they might make a full album and
Mhm.
come out.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me. And real quick, in other pop culture news, Ashton Kirshner and Mala Kunis have resigned from
Um,
their position.
Ashton Kutcher and Mila
Ashton
Kunis.
Kutcher, Mila Kunis, have resigned from their position from the anti-child abuse nonprofit that they're part of after the Danny Madison controversy, because they endorsed them, they sent the letter, then they apologized, and now they resigned from the nonprofit organization that they're part of.
And see, to me,
We were
that's
talking about the bad boys. We were talking about the bad boys last week, so
mhm. But and again, to me, that's when our cancel culture to me goes too far because them being a part of the nonprofit, I don't know. To me, it's like that's good work that they don't get to do now because because again, they
yeah,
might have made a bad judgment in trying to support somebody who they viewed as a friend, but turns out, they wound up being a convicted friend. So I I don't necessarily agree with that. I get it, and I
yeah.
realize people do that, but I think that's when,
There are some
uh,
times when cancel culture goes too far.
yeah,
There's sometimes the
it's
cancel
just
culture
a
goes
little
too
much.
far, and that right there is a show when cancel culture goes too far. But
Mm.
now we are on to your birthday. How was your birthday yesterday?
My birthday was good. It was good, and it's weird because I guess the younger you are, the bigger a deal it is for birthdays because you're always excited because you're getting older because you're trying to hit those milestones. You want to be 13 because then you're a teenager. You want to be 16, then you want to be 18, then you want to be 21 because you want to drink and vote and all those cool things. And but then
More vote,
after,
more drink than vote. But go ahead.
but but I've been voting since I've been old enough to vote and not missing a beat. But in any case, you reach a certain age where you're like, okay, you hit those big ones, the 30s, 40s, and now I'm finishing up my 50s. So I don't know. I guess it just doesn't hit the same way that it used to when you were, much younger. But I had just a quiet celebration. I
I
actually,
when I get older, I look at it as when I get older, I look at it as a blessing because some people don't get to live as long as I do.
definitely. Oh, definitely.
So, you
definitely
know.
is a blessing. And
So
you know what?
let's talk about your favorites.
I'm old enough
Yes.
to have a Facebook account because I'm that age. So it is nice when you get those birthday wishes on Facebook. So I really appreciate. What's so fun? I don't get it.
You you say things so matter of factly that just cracks me up. But go ahead. What are your favorite things that we're going to be talking about tonight?
Well, again, and
Because you
some of
didn't send
these,
me a
if
list.
you, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I did share that list with you. I sent it to your Gmail account. Did you not see it?
Oh, you did you?
I did. I'm
You know
sorry.
what?
And I
I've
think
been
you
oh
could
here it is.
you
I've
could
been doing
probably
a fest.
guess the list because you know
I did a
most of the stuff
festival this
on my
afternoon, and I
list
haven't
that
really
are
checked
my
my Gmail.
favorites.
So now, yeah, I do have it. You're right. No, I did a festival.
Okay. So,
Wow,
and
you got a lot of favorite things. Let's start with your TV shows.
I'm actually wearing a t-shirt from one of my favorite things. It says, "Your world is our world," and I don't know. Oh, oh, that's nice. I'm rubbing the t-shirt against the microphone. You can hear that, but it is a t-shirt. Um, and the address location is 655 18th Street, New York City. And I don't even know if that address really exists. That'd be interesting to kind of go there. But this is the t-shirt and logo for a company called Massive Dynamic. Massive Dynamic is a part of the world or the lore of the TV show Fringe. And for my favorite TV shows, it's weird that all three of my favorite TV shows are sci-fi, and I don't consider myself a sci-fi fan. So that I think is really weird, but Fringe is definitely on those lists
Really?
of one of my favorite shows. And it's funny that it's a favorite because initially I did not like it because I thought it was trying to copy my number one favorite show, which is The X-Files. And I was kind of resisting. I'm like, oh no, you're not going to be doing some X-Files knockoff. But you know what? As that show was coming on, X-Files was sunsetting. So it actually filled like my X-Files gap. So I actually have enjoyed
Oh
Fringe
boy.
and I've watched the series a number of times. Um, have you checked on our feed? Because I'm trying to pull up a YouTube feed. I usually watch the YouTube feed as we're doing it, and it's not coming up, which is weird.
Let me
No,
check
you
on it.
haven't checked the feed? Okay. Um,
No,
well,
let me
you
let
know
me
what?
check it now.
Okay. We'll roll with this show, but Fringe is one of my favorite TV shows. Also,
Yeah,
another
our YouTube
favorite.
feed is gone.
It is.
Our YouTube feed was live.
It is
Yep.
live. Okay, I'm just not picking it up. Okay,
Yes.
c'est la
Yeah.
vie. It's one of those things. I'm like, why can't I pick it up? Oh yeah, you know what? It's probably not coming up on my TV because who knows why that's not working. So, all right, I get it. I get it. Okay. But now Fringe as a show, have you ever watched it?
No, I've never watched Friends. I've
Okay,
never
I hear
watched Fringe.
music or something. Okay.
No, no,
Um,
no, no. That was me checking the YouTube. I've
okay.
never
All
watched
right.
Friends.
Yeah, I've watched Fringe, and I've enjoyed it, and that's why I like having access to that HBO Max because I can watch Fringe. I was all excited because one of my birthday presents was this low profile arm so that I can kind of keep the microphone down here and out the way, and um, it attaches to my table. But the bad part is I keep hitting up against it, so it's making all kinds of microphone noises. So
Oh wow.
I'll have to adjust. Anyway, my other favorite TV shows were Buffy the Vampire Slayer because that's a show that I could watch
Of
over and
course.
over again, and it just has some key episodes. And also X Files, and again another favorite because I can rewatch it on blast. So that's I think what makes some of these episodes or TV shows my favorites because I can rewatch them and enjoy them. So what
Hold on for a
snarky
minute before we
comment
go
do you
further.
have?
Scooby Life, Scooby Life, yeah, Scooby Life.
Hey,
Thank you,
Scooby
but
Life,
it's
I haven't
Kathy's
seen
birthday actually.
Scooby.
Kathy did
Yeah,
the backwards thing and said it was my birthday when it's actually her birthday that we are celebrating today.
that way I don't get any older. But anyway, hey, 59 years. I am, yeah, happy and blessed for every day that I get. So I am not going to be mad about it. I'm going to wear my 59 proudly. Talking to one of my good friends, Michelle, we're actually thinking about maybe doing something, getting Robin and a few other of our friends who are hitting the 6-0 marker together next year or the following year for a 60th uh, voyage or a
You
60th
guys should
travel.
all take a trip together.
Yeah,
Like the
well,
movie How
that's
Stella
the
got the
plan.
group back.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys should all take a trip like how Stella got a
Where
group
should
and
we
go
go?
to an island and pick up an island guy and come back with him.
So, hey, it could happen. So that's going to be the plan for
Because
the
he might
60th
have sisters.
is to do a big party. So since we're celebrating me, we're talking about my favorite things. So my favorite TV shows, which are all sci-fi, X-Files, Fringe, and Buffy. My favorite now, I added this, Kenny, because I know I talked about my favorite singers and I've talked about them before, but I actually came up with a category called my favorite albums. And I
Okay.
just tried to list 3 in each category. And here's why I like these albums, because they're albums that you can listen to from needle to needle, like from first track to the last track, back when you had an actual album. And I know they're not the most popular, but I figure, hey, maybe I can turn somebody on to something new. The first album on that list is by Fiona Apple. It's called Title. And I think I started
Okay.
to go with Win the Pawn, but Title is the one with Criminal. It's probably has her most popular songs, but it's got some good songs on there. And I used to have a CD mix of songs that I liked by women in the 90s. I called it Bitter Hotline. And Fiona Apple was all over that because she could just be really
Bitter
just
hotline.
bitchy. Bitter Hotline.
Okay.
Yeah. Bitter Hotline, Kathy speaking. So, but Fiona Apple's Title, just I don't know if you would enjoy it. It's too girly for you.
I well,
Do you know any
I'm
Fiona
open.
Apple songs?
I have listened to some, but I can't name them off the top of my head. I have listened
Okay.
to some.
All right, because she
So,
has some good ones on that Title album, and I know "Criminal" was, I think, the hit that most people know. Most people would know "Criminal," but there were some other, just slammers on there, in my opinion. Now, again, there's a song called "Sullen Girl" that I just love, "Pale September," "Child Is Gone," um Never Is a Promise. This is an album you gotta listen to. Sleep to Dream was the other hit, I think, from that album, not just Criminal, but, Title by Fiona Apple, amazing album. Another favorite I am putting on my list is because then I thought about it, I'm like, "If I was stuck on a deserted island and I could
there
only
you
have 3
go.
CDs, could I listen to them and get something out of it?" And I think the ones I picked were ones where the songwriters really shine. That's why I like that Fiona Apple album. I also picked Songs in the Key of Life because to me, even though Stevie Wonder has a million masterpieces, and I think didn't he have an album called Masterpiece? And he can do
I
just about
believe he
anything.
might have. But here's the thing about Stevie Wonder: songs in the key of life. Songs in the key of life is a staple, and you know, not that it's trite or anything or hackneyed, but it's such a good album. You would find it on a lot of people's. It's a 3-part album. It's a 3 album
Mhm.
set, the whole thing. and you will find "Songs of the Key of Life" on a lot of people's list of songs that kind of changed them a little bit. So yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. It's just now again, it's a two CD or two album set, but it's just so rich and so many uh great songs. Ebony Eyes, Saturn, um, Village, Ghetto. I mean, Sir Duke. It's okay, just as all right, and
I
that's all
wish.
you need. Oh yes, I wish those days. I mean, it's just a well-rounded album. Isn't she lovely? The third album I put on my album favorites for favorite album is an album called Throwing Copper. And I don't know if you know this. This band is a band out of Pennsylvania called Live. And this
Okay,
was
yeah, I heard live.
very much the 90s. And I, I don't know if theirs is the best album per se. I just know for hits, it's got a lot of hits on it, and this was one of those albums that I think I had it in CD form or a digital disc form, like a small disc. Anyway, that I listened to on the streets of New York like constantly. Whether it's "I Alone" is a song you might know. I alone love you. I alone. No, you don't know that
No, I
one.
don't know any live. I'm sorry, I don't know any live.
Selling the drama. How about lightning crashes? All over you, all over you, all over me. The sea, the sun. Throwing copper. You got to throw that into Spotify and give it a listen. I think.
I'll take a listen to that. I have to some things I have to listen to. I'll take a listen to that one.
Okay. Also on my favorites list, because I used to do stand-up comedy, and a lot of times when you do stand-up comedy, people ask you who your influences are and what comics you enjoy. And though I love comics, and there are a ton of comics that I've gotten to work with, that I've gotten to perform with, that I really enjoy, and just people who are were just great people. There's a comic who he does some commentary shows right now, I think, and I've seen him on social media, John Fugelsang, and but I just know in dealing with him and interacting with him, he was just such a real person and such a good person. And just having worked with comics during the mid 90s. But as far as being influenced for the comedy I wanted to do or attempted to do, I my comedy influences were Richard Pryor, George Carlin, and Lenny Bruce, which I know
Nice
you're like,
selection.
"Well,
Really
they're
nice
all
selection.
men."
Really nice selection. Really nice selection. I'm not that familiar. I've not seen too much live Lenny Bruce. Not a lot of
I
tapes
haven't
today.
either. I've seen him in clips, and when
I've
I
seen a
lived
lot of
in New York, I was a member of the Motion Picture, Museum or Motion Picture Academy Museum, and you could
uh-huh.
go there and because I had my little card too, and you could watch and pull clips from anything and watch old shows and old movies, and I would do that a lot because 'cause I'm that kinda nerd, and one of the things I watched was Richard Pryor's special, and I think there was only like 4 episodes of it, and you know what I noticed on his special? He featured a lot of female comics. So, I thought that was pretty progressive for a show in the '70s for
Yes.
him
I
to
think
do that.
I like yes, I like the clip of Richard Pryor in that show when they did like a roast of Richard Pryor.
Mm.
And you had like Robin Williams, Sandra Bernhardt. You had a lot of people on there that were became famous. Tim Reed, all these people were here. Just Samson, how you doing, buddy? We are
Hey,
celebrating Cassie's birthday today. So yeah, and the Richard Pryor show also. You had a lot of people on there that were just very funny, very talented, and
again, my favorite scene still is when
um,
he wanted to have,
George Carlin.
the
I think he's
Pips.
on your list. And George Carlin.
George Carlin is on my
Go ahead, say it
list,
again.
and you know what? I was saying I love the Richard Pryor special where he wanted to have just the Pips. He didn't want to have. Thank you so much, Just Samson. He didn't want to have Gladys Knight. He just wanted the Pips. I ain't saying nothing about
The
Gladys.
Pips.
And then they came out and they were like, leaving on that midnight, and just singing their part.
Just the Pips.
And that was, yeah, just.
Do you
the
remember
Pips.
when we were kids and we saw Gladys Knight? Mom and Dad took us to see Gladys Knight and the Pips at the Latin Casino in New Jersey.
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
We saw Gladys Knight and the
We
Pips
saw
live.
that. I remember
Natalie's in
the
the
Latin
house.
Casino. Hey, Natalie. I remember the Latin Casino.
We
That
saw Gladys Knight and the Pips at the Latin Casino. I think we were the only kids in the room.
Well, I do remember going to Underground Atlanta and we saw BT Express and got up on stage.
And we were the only kids in the room there too.
Only
My
kids
parents
in
took
the
us a
room.
lot of places they shouldn't have took us. We were the only kids in the room there too. And we
This
got on
is not
stage with BT
boding well.
Express. Yeah, no, this is
Do it
not
till you're
boding well
satisfied.
at all.
Yeah. All right.
Do what you
So
say. I'm
again,
satisfied. All I had to say was I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. I'm
and
satisfied.
you just stole the show and just started, eating the furniture and, hamming it up to the nth
That's what I
degree.
did. That's my job.
That
That's what I did.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I
what you
do.
do. Okay.
So, okay. So your singers. Well, we didn't have 3 singers. We got 4 singers.
Oh, 4 singers of my all-time favorites. And again, if you know me, you probably know these people only because I'm so fond of them and I'm always talking about them and singing their music. One of mine is Wendy and Lisa. And I know everybody knows Wendy and Lisa from Yes, Lisa is the warm water warm enough and from Purple Rain and being a part of Prince's band. But little do they know, they actually were part of their own band. They later called themselves Girl Brothers, but for the most part was Wendy and Lisa. After Prince's death, they put together the Revolution again. I think even though at the time they might have been dating and they had since split up, married other people, but came back together with the Revolution and the original members to do some touring. But they had a couple of great albums and songs that I just love, and check them
See,
out.
and I
So
always
that's
thought
why I
Lisa.
mentioned
I didn't know they were. I didn't know they were together at first because I always thought Lisa was really hot.
it. And actually, Lisa's a twin because her twin also sang in the band. The Family was a part of that band. She has
The
a
family,
twin.
yes, yeah.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, not
No,
Lisa's
Wendy's
not
the
a twin.
twin. Lisa's not the
Wendy's the
twin.
twin. I'm
Wendy's
sorry,
the twin.
Wendy's.
Yes, Wendy's the twin.
And they
But
also had a
Lisa
brother.
playing the keyboards in the back was Lisa with playing the keyboards in the back was pretty hot. I didn't know that she was. You know,
Well,
I
I'm
can't tell.
surprised
I can
because
never tell.
to me she would be
But
right on your list with, you know, Sandra Bernhardt,
okay,
and
and Ellen
all the
DeGeneres,
women that
yeah.
you're waiting to date that obviously wouldn't be waiting for you.
So of course you have
Oh,
Jackie
wait, maybe
Wilson
they
on your
are
list
well,
next.
I know they're back together performing because they put the Revolution back together, and they did a couple of shows, after Prince's death. Because
I
I
don't
think
think they're back together though. I think
no.
I think they're just working together for that revolution thing. I don't think
Right.
those 2 are back together.
You know why? Because Wendy was married to the woman who directed and produced a movie called The Kids Are All Right, because it was supposed to be, like, loosely based on, I guess, the writer and director's life, and I think that's who Wendy wound up being married to, but I could be wrong, but I'm usually not, but
Okay.
anyway, there we go. All right. So, okay. So that's my favorite singers. Everybody knows Jackie Wilson. I don't know. There's just this soft spot in my heart for Jackie Wilson. Jackie Wilson is,
Just
I think something,
say you will,
Lonely
say
Teardrop.
you will.
I went through this phase where I
Lonely
had to
tears.
hear everything Jackie Wilson possible. And it's just, Your Love Keeps Lifting Me Higher and Higher. Jackie, there's something that fascinates me about Jackie Wilson's story. And I actually have a whole screenplay that I wrote about this little girl who experiences the music of Jackie Wilson and finds out about him after he had a stroke while performing on stage. I think wasn't it at the Latin Casino? What I'm not
It was
sure.
at the
I
Latin
think it
Casino.
was,
He had a stroke while performing on stage,
yeah.
and Elvis Presley actually paid for his hospital bill.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yes,
know that. See, now I can't keep
yes.
hating on Elvis, but I
Even
didn't know
even
that.
even even mom is on here saying yes. Even our mother is on here saying yes. Yes,
I didn't know that. Well,
he
she's
was at the
saying
Latin
yes to
Casino.
the he was at the Latin Casino when he had a stroke, but and actually our mother saw Jackie Wilson, I guess, like, back in the heyday, like, at what was the big, theater in Pennsylvania? Like, not the Apollo. Apollo is New York, but I
I don't
think
know. It was in Philly, but I know that might have been the same
she
place where
got
she
a
also
piece
met
of
Gladys Knight
his
in the Pips.
pie. Huh?
That might have been the same place he also met Gladys Knight in the Pips. They
Ah,
were when
okay.
they Gladys Knight in the Pips first. Mommy told me a story. The Uptown.
The
The Uptown.
Uptown.
Mom told me a story that when Gladys Knight and the Pips were first starting back in the day, they were very nervous about getting on stage. And mom and a bunch of people in the back telling them, "Oh, you guys will be fine. You guys will be fine." And Gladys Knight went and the Pips went up there and knocked it out.
And
Kathy
we
has
just
the link.
I put a link in the
Kathy
description, so
has
if
a
you
link
wanna
on
jump
there. So if you
on.
want to come on and wish her a happy birthday, please feel free to wish her happy birthday. Kathy, let me get the screen for 1 minute.
Okay.
Let me get the screen for 1 minute, please. Please come on and wish Kathy a happy birthday. Also, too, if you're listening to us and you're on our YouTube link, please give us a thumbs up, give us a like. You can buy us a coffee, and that will go towards helping us put together the show. And also, if you buy us a coffee, we would really appreciate that. But subscribe to our channel, give us a like, tell a friend, go on our Facebook. We're on Facebook and we're on YouTube, and we do Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture. We start off doing this for the fun of it, but we do it to explain pop culture to you guys, and we have a good time doing it, and we like to keep on doing it. So please help us out. Give us some support. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Buy us a coffee. Thank you very much. God bless your soul and keep living. Kathy, come on back in and let's finish
Oh,
the list.
you got sneaky on me. Usually I get to do the promo, and you did the promo. Oh my god. Uh-oh. You got skills.
Of course.
What you
I'm a
sipping on
professional.
tonight? I don't know. You got some skills. I'm gonna have the glass of wine after this. I
Like,
think I'm
hey. That's like getting, I don't want daddy calling me tomorrow morning. Let's not get into that. So on your, on your list, the next after Jackie Wilson, you have your favorite Tina Marie, and you have taken me to a Tina Marie show before. So
well,
I know your
hey,
love
you
for
know
Tina
what?
Marie.
I've only taken the people I love, so it's like I think my mom came to a Tina Marie show, and she actually it was Tina Marie, it was Earth, Wind and Fire. It was a bunch of different acts. And you know what? I think
Oh
she
wow.
enjoyed herself. So there you go. I took you to a Tina Marie show.
Yes.
One time
Tina
Michelle and
Marie.
I wound up getting free tickets to a Tina Marie show. You have not lived until you have seen a Tina Marie show. And if
Yes.
you ain't seen a Tina Marie show,
Well,
you
and
ain't
you
gonna
won't
see
get a
one.
chance to because she
But she
passed away.
made
But
it
Tina Marie put on the best show.
the best.
I've seen her twice in concert, and both times she put on a really good show. The first show I seen her in, it was in the Spectrum. It was a
Mm,
Budweiser Superfest,
old school.
and she opened for Cool and the Gang,
Mm.
and it was the old Cool and the Gang with JT in front. And she hit a note, and I had a date, and my date wanted something to drink, and I went up and got my date something to drink, and she started this note. I think it was like on Dear Lover or something like that. And I don't know what it was, a deja vu, but she started this note. I went into the bathroom. I went and got her a drink. I came back. She was still on the same note. So that's the power of Tina Marie.
Tina Marie was awesome. I guess,
Holding
and
the same note.
one of the things I think I loved about Tina Marie is the fact that I guess they considered it blue-eyed soul because she was a white woman singing these soul songs. But for the most part, I think her first album, I just thought it was just a nice irony that Motown got famous for releasing these albums without putting the pictures of the artists on the album so that they could kind of sell crossover and pop. So those first Motown albums didn't have pictures of, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles or the different artists. And lo and behold, late 80s, when Tina Marie comes along, her first album, Wild and Peaceful, did not have her picture on it. And they were playing it in places like WBLS in New York and WDAS in Philadelphia. The black stations were, grooving out on this music that was at the time produced by Rick James. And they had no idea, oh, wait, there's some little white girl singing this song because she was belting it out
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
sister.
yeah. I like the way she has Melvin from the Temptations on Cradle
It
Rob.
must be
Doop,
magic.
doom,
Okay.
boom,
Oh,
boom, boom. She goes, "Ooh,
Cradle
Melvin,"
Rob and
and she
me.
says, "Ooh, Melvin." I was like this year old when I realized that was Melvin from the Temptations. Going boom, boom,
Oh, you
boom,
didn't know
boom, boom,
that?
boom. I didn't
You know,
realize that was Melvin from the Temptations.
see,
And the
that's how much
next
of a
singer,
fan. Well, hold on for a second, Kenny. That's how much of a fan I am. Because you know what I would do? I would read liner notes. That's the
yeah,
number one
well,
thing I miss about streaming music. No liner notes. I want a damn liner notes back,
yes,
people. I used to love getting the album and you crease your finger down the side and the plastic comes all off of it, and then you take out the oh, sometimes you get lyrics, you find out who the producers were, who sang on it, background sing. Ah, okay. I'm going back in my old age. Okay.
So we go back to
Liner
a
notes.
jazz classic that I love. Also, we go back to Dinah Washington
I
as
know
your last
Washington.
person on your list.
I
Dinah
One of
Washington.
my favorite singers, and you know why? Because Dinah Washington, she just had this voice of an angel. But then when you find out a little bit about her backstory, and I saw a play kind of based on her life, but basically they said she could drink like most men under the table and was kind of like had this hard edge about her, but yet she had this voice of like an angel. Dinah Washington, her most popular song is What a Difference a Day Makes. But man, if you get a copy of Dinah Washington singing the blues, this is exciting to me. I'm just gonna uh
I'm,
take a
I'm
look
gonna
at
I'm
the
gonna I'm gonna
comments.
stop for a
It
minute.
looks like, yeah, go ahead.
Just Samson said Tina tried to kiss him.
Oh, no way. That
Tina
is
pinned me against the wall outside the dress. I had to read it twice, and
okay. I
and
saw that and I'm like, okay,
tried to
we gotta
kiss
read.
me once.
For the podcast, you gotta
Yeah,
read this comment so people hear what it says.
Tina pinned. Just Samson says Tina pinned me against a wall outside her dressing room and tried to kiss me once. Laughing emoji. You two are bringing back memories. Ha ha ha. Okay, I have
Oh my
questions.
goodness.
I have questions. I have questions.
Kenny
I
has
have
questions now.
questions.
Okay, so now we're gonna find out who her, baby daddy really is.
Okay,
Anyway.
so Tina tried to kiss you. Tina tried to kiss you. Did you kiss her back? Number one, did you kiss her back? First of all, I need to know, did you kiss her back?
We're about to
I need
get
to know, what did she smell like?
up.
Was it before or after the concert? And was her breath stink, or was it good, or was it what
Oh,
was
hey,
it
hey,
one of,
hey.
was it one of the
Don't
things
you
you wanted
don't
to
you
get?
don't you sacrilege. That's hey. Don't you be mean about Tina. Oh, that is too funny. I know I think the last time I saw her in concert, I had just had surgery on both feet. So and it was a standing room only venue down in New York City at a blues club where I'm hobbling in with my canes and my bandages and feet all wrapped up. And they literally got me a seat. So even though it was a standing room only kind of venue, um, they brought me a seat and I got to sit down and just take it all in and had a good time. But oh, Just Samson's got some stories to tell. He is living some kind of
Samson
LA
got some
life that
stories.
he's
Just Samson. You got some. Okay, I'm not mad at you, brother. I'm not mad at you at all. Okay, so I don't know. I kind of it was probably before the age of cell phones. You probably don't have any video or proof or
no
anything.
video.
So we're gonna go.
Um,
Uh,
my other
Scooby
cat,
Lexus
my
Brown.
next
Here we
category,
go.
and I got two more categories before we're done because it's my favorite thing show. Are
Authors.
authors, and why? Because I know we haven't done any book shows, and I know your books are comic books, but there's just so many books I love and would love to talk about in book series. But
We're gonna
one
get.
day we
We're gonna
will.
get. We're gonna get George on the show. We'll talk about
One day
books
we
because
will.
George is an avid reader.
But I think for me, and I think, and this is why the book banning kind of craziness is making me crazy because I think for a
I don't
lot
get
of
it.
people that reading is just like the gateway to education, the gateway to the world. And for me, as a young Black woman, these authors uh, painted pictures so that I could see myself in the world and in different ways and in different places. I know why the Cage Bird sings by Maya Angelou. When Maya Angelou is one of those authors that I truly loved, and I loved following her story through her series of books, about her life. Not that I want her the hardships that she experienced when she was young and not being able to talk, having to do with being sexually molested, all that kind of stuff. But it just showed me a picture of what you could rise up above any kind of setback or anything that you could rise above it, pursue your dreams. She got to perform. She got to, write poetry. She was a poet laureate and just got to do all these great and amazing things. So Maya Angelou is definitely one of those authors. Another author was Zora Neale Hurston. And again, just like with Dinah Washington, with Tina Marie, and it's not even just that their art and what they put out in the world, but also knowing a little bit about their backstory, what they overcome. I find that kind of exciting too. And that's why I kind of admire these authors. And finally is Octavia Butler, which I've talked about ad nauseum on this channel. She is a sci-fi writer. I'm not a sci-fi fan, but maybe I am. But I love Octavia Butler. If you've only read Kindred because it was a part of a school assignment, dig into some of her other stuff. It is amazing, and she is amazing. And hopefully one day they will make a good movie out of one of her Pattern Master or Adulthood Rights series of books. But yeah, Octavia Butler. Okay,
Before we go on, I want to digress for a minute.
sure.
Because Jess Sampson says it was before she went on the show, and no, I didn't kiss her. My other half worked at the venue. No, look, man.
It was complicated.
Look back when I was married. My ex-wife knew if Janet Jackson or Whoopi Goldberg or Sandra Bernhard showed up, I had a free pass. It was a given. So you gotta get free passes.
I don't understand the Sandra Bernhard
A
thing.
kiss ain't gonna hurt
Uh,
nobody.
oh
What?
yeah, see, Jeff
Sandra
Sampson has
Bernhard
worked
is
live
sexy.
events, so he probably could tell us some stories, I'm sure.
Yes, please.
If
Jess
he's
Sampson,
worked these
we might
live
have to have
events,
you on pop culture. We might have to have you on pop culture, Kathy Guinness, just to tell us some stories of some things that happened to you. Kathy, the birthday girl, let's go on to your favorite actors.
my favorite actors, no big secret. I love me some Keanu Reeves. I just do. I'm going to be unapologetic about it. Everything from Bill and Ted to
Kathy,
Parenthood to The Matrix. What? I I'll even go through the John Wick. I'm not a big fan of that genre, but all things Keanu, and there you go. Scooby Life knows what I'm talking about. Also, um, wait, were you gonna say something smart to me? I can't hear you. I don't know what happened to your
no, I
sound.
wasn't gonna say anything spunky. I like Keanu Reeves, but not the say, well, you like Keanu Reeves. I'm not going to say anything
Um,
smart.
I don't know whether
Not
she's
all
not
of his
necessarily
acting
my
is the best, but okay.
no, no. She's not necessarily my favorite actress, but I put her on there because I know I've talked about her a number of times, and that's Irene Cara. And again, because Fame is my favorite movie, so that's why she rose to the top of the list. But I do love Sparkle. Oh, that's an old school movie. Check it out.
Yeah,
And when I
Irene
talk
Cara
about
hasn't
these
had a
movies,
big
I'm talking
list of
originals.
things.
I'm not talking crappy remakes. Go ahead. What? Go ahead.
No, Irene Cara doesn't
What?
have a big catalog of movies to put it, but
I
but
know
it's who
Scooby
you
Life makes
like.
you want to.
It's your birthday.
Yeah.
If you like it, I love it. Your next person, your next actor, of course,
Oh, of course, my favorite actress of all
is
times is Natalie Wood. And again, she defies my rule because the two things I hate are musicals and child actors. So Annie for me would be hell because that's just too many little kids singing. Yikes. Um, I hate musicals and I hate child actors, but every once in a while you get some child actors who are actually good and can survive being a child actor. And Natalie Wood was one of them. And I remember first seeing her in like Miracle on 34th Street, but then kind of seeing her come of age from everything from Gypsy to oh, what's the other one? Sing out, Louise, sing out, Louise. No, that's Gypsy. Gypsy, Love with her best movie is Love with the Proper Stranger. I don't think that movie gets enough credit with Steve McQueen. That's the one to check out. And as well as This Property Condemned and oh, what's the one with the oh God. Gosh, I'm drawing a Nelly Wood blank. But okay, but
hello.
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm
Okay,
just
I got to pause on my screen. I don't know who can hear me.
yeah, I can hear you. I gotta pause because I'm trying to think of the movie with Warren Beatty and Natalie Wood, and it's not coming to my mind. And that's just and where is my Ed when I need him? Because Ed would get me straight. Oh, Splendor in the Grass, Splendor in the Grass, Rebel Without a Cause, just some iconic movies. West Side Story was one of my favorites, but then thank you. My mom knows what I'm talking about. Splendor in the Grass. I can't. Uh, did I see Kinky Boots, the one musical that was I have never seen Kinky Boots, and there was actually, a production of it not too far from here at the Hickory Theater that I probably should have seen, and I say I hate musicals, but honestly, not really, because yeah, I'm a sucker for a good musical. I am. Uh, oh, and Steve McQueen is our vacation DVD theme. Yes, but Love with the Proper Stranger, that is such a cute movie, and you can't kind of surprising for the time and the topic and some of the things that were depicted in the movie. But hey, thanks to the Supreme Court, we might be right back there. Let's see. Are you cool, Kenny? I don't know what happened.
I'm good.
You faded
I'm
out,
good. I don't
and
know
it
what
was
happened
just
either,
me.
but I'm good. I'm here.
Okay, but you're back,
I'm
but
here.
you're back. So we're talking my favorite things, my favorite actors, and finally my favorite movies. And I mean, we already know my favorite movie is Fame. It's an awesome movie. Original Fame, not that fake, crappy remake thing that they did. But the other movie, I was trying to think of another movie, like a more current movie that I love, and I realized I really like the idea of ensemble cast. So I'm putting two movies together. One is called Playing by Heart, which is actually set in LA for our friends Scooby Life and Just Sampson, who are left coasters. Um, Playing by Heart, and then the other one is Crazy Stupid Love. And I think what both of those are kind of rom coms but also feature ensemble casts that to me are just like phenomenal. So if
Yeah, I like
anybody's gonna take a recommendation from this 59-year-old, those are two movies I would check out. Playing by Heart with Angelina Jolie before she was really Angelina Jolie, but kind of getting towards being Angelina Jolie-ish. Um, that's a movie to check out, but not for Angelina Jolie. You know who shines in that movie? Sean Connery and Glenna Rowlands. That's who shined in that movie. So check that out. Playing by Heart, and also Crazy Stupid Love because
I
it's
love
just
Crazy
a
Stupid Love.
movie. Yeah,
I love Crazy Stupid Love.
that is fun. And so that's my list. That's all my favorites. Favorite authors, favorite albums, favorite TV shows, favorite movies, favorite books. All about me. That never
Now,
happened. Oh wait, I had
okay,
another
so
favorite movie on the list. Oh, I'm sorry. I did have another favorite movie, and I forgot the last movie on my favorite.
yeah.
And here is why this movie is my favorite. It was one of my earliest movie memories, and I actually remember seeing this movie, and I'm not sure whether it was before or after, but it was in close proximity to the first person kinda in my life passing away, and that was my mother's father. That's when granddaddy died, and I saw this movie. The movie is called On Borrowed Time. It is a 1950. I I looked up the year earlier and I lost it, but it starred Lionel Barrymore. It's a black and white movie. It's been remade several times and in several different ways, but this movie was called On Borrowed Time, and basically it was about death, and death was basically
Wow.
living in the tree. 1939. It was black and white, so I knew it was later. But basically, death. Lionel Barrymore. Death, I think, was coming for Lionel Barrymore, and this is like, I guess, Drew's great great grandfather for all you youngsters who don't know the Barrymores. Anyway, but Lionel Barrymore, was an old guy, and Death was coming for him, and he tricked Death and had Death climb up into the tree. So Death's in the tree and can't get out the tree, and birds would be flying along, but then they hit the tree, and then they drop to the floor, and again, just this whole essay or whatever on life and death and the afterlife and that whole thing. But it's called On Borrowed Time from 1939. Excellent. But it's one of my first movie memories, and I never knew the title of this movie. And when I was a DJ back in the 80s, when I was driving all over the place at all kind of weird hours in order to stay awake, driving back from gigs. I would listen to talk radio. There was a guy in Philly, and gosh, that's why I need Ed, because Ed probably would know who this is. But there was a guy on the radio with Philly who just had this film knowledge, like crazy encyclopedic knowledge of film. I called the radio station because, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm coming home from a gig, and I'm describing the plot of the movie because I did not know the title at the time. And he knew, not only did he know who starred in the movie, he knew the year, he knew the title, but it was called On Borrowed Time. And ever
Wait,
since I
wait, wait,
talked to
wait.
that
Time
dude,
out, time out. Time
Mhm.
out. Here's where I'm having a problem at.
Okay.
They had cell phones when you were DJing?
Oh, when I was DJing, I had I had a cell phone. I had and I don't know whether I might not have called him from the car. I might have called him once I got home because I know that show
Okay.
ran like overnight. But I did have a cell phone because daddy gave me one of those cell phones that was like it was like in a bag, you know,
Yeah,
like I'm talking
those.
old school cell
Yeah,
phone that was
those.
like,
Those. Yeah,
like you had a big old
I remember
I
those.
was trying to see if I had something comparable, but she had like this big old bag, this leather
Yeah,
bag, with the phone, and the phone was like this big, and and it looked like
yeah.
yeah. And so I
Had an
did have a cell phone, but that
antenna.
was only for emergencies. But I think I called the show once I got home, but I would listen to this guy overnight on the radio when I was driving back from gigs. But he knew everything movies, and he told me the title of that movie. It's called On Borrowed Time. Check it out if you can. It is a
Nice,
classic and
nice,
one of my favorites.
nice.
Nice. But what is also nice is you guys hanging out with us. So appreciate it. So appreciate you and the birthday wishes. So here's to Another 59 or so years. Yeah. Uh, so Kinky Boots, I gotta see this. I know it was made into a movie. I don't know if the movie is a musical or not. Um, but yeah, Playing by Heart, Scooby Life. We like a lot of the same stuff, so I think you would enjoy that movie. It like Crazy Stupid Love. It's got a little bit of a twist to it, but kind of like Crazy Stupid Love, you'll probably figure it out before you hit the end of the movie. But it is
I
good
might
and a
watch
good.
Crazy Stupid Love tonight.
It is a good ensemble cast. You know what? I've
It's
been
on
trying to
HBO. It's on
find.
HBO right now. On
Oh,
Max, rather. It's on Max now.
okay. You know what I'm trying to find? I want to see A Lot Like Love, which I've seen before. It's Ashton Kutcher, but I can't find it anywhere. It's not available anywhere. So that's kind of weird. I'm just
So
saying.
so
Talk to
next
me.
week, I want you to join
Next
us
week.
because next week we'll be talking about ensemble cast, the
Ah,
best ensemble cast. We're gonna make a list about 10 maybe ensemble cast throughout movie history. And we're gonna
mm.
talk about those casts, ensemble cast. And I
Now, are
have
we
a
talking
couple of
like the
movies already I
blockbusters,
know.
like the Towering Inferno?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go back that far. I mean,
Okay.
there'll probably be a few Mel Brooks. There'll probably be a Mel Brooks movie in there. You can't do an ensemble cast without putting a Mel Brooks movie in there.
Oh,
That
you'll
that's
just
that's that's gonna happen.
yeah, gotta
One
happen.
of the what is it? It's a mad, mad, mad world. Movies
It's a
like
mad,
that.
mad, mad, mad world.
Cannonball Run.
Mm, around the world in 80 days. There's
Cannonball.
tons
The
of them.
first can. We'll probably do the first Cannonball Run because that was the best.
The first one was the best.
Yeah. The
Cannonball
second
Run.
one was
Yeah.
kind of like you don't really.
Mm. But what
But
about well,
movies,
we'll get
movies
to
such
all
as
those next week. So we'll
yeah,
talk
movies that
ensemble
have these
cast.
big, Ocean's 11, Oceans, those kind of movies. I'm not sure whether we'll do the original or the remake, and we'll have a lot to talk about with the ensemble cast next week.
All right, next week. Sounds good. I will see you then. I'll
All
see
right,
you
well,
guys.
we'll
I'll
see
see you, Kenny, as
you
well.
guys then. Yes, do me a
We'll
favor.
see
God
you
bless
next
your soul
week.
and keep living. Thanks for coming out with us, Jess
Thanks for
Sampson.
hanging.
Thank you. We miss having you too. And look, man, every Saturday night at 8:30, Kathy and I are here.
We
So
hang.
come join us Saturday night at 8:30. Set your alarm to it, set your clock to it. We will be here. And next week we're going to be talking about ensemble cast and movies. And just come join us.
Come join us. Come hang. So good to see you. Thanks so much for all the birthday wishes. Appreciate
Yes.
you all. Kenny,
God
I
bless
will
your
see
soul and
you
keep living.
next week. Peace.
See you next week. Peace.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.